TaylorMade High Toe Raw Wedge Review. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to Good Golf and click that notification bell so you don't miss a video. TaylorMade High Toe Raw Wedges have a face that will rust over time to bring even more spin and control to your short game. TaylorMade have brought the raw face technology from their hugely successful MG2 wedge into their high toe lineup for 2021. The design features sharper, deeper and narrower grooves and a sharper edge radius, with a rougher laser-etched surface between the grooves, which TaylorMade say will help generate greater greenside spin. Compared with plated grooves, the design increases friction by reducing the ability for the ball to skid up the club face before it grips, enabling a more consistent ball flight with each wedge shot and higher spin rates in wet conditions. Each high-toe raw wedge head is created from 8620 carbon steel and comes with an airtight adhesive sticker on the face to prevent rusting before use. When you remove the sticker, though, the face will immediately begin oxidizing, which in turn begins a rusting process. Milled grind soles maximize consistency from wedge to wedge and ensure repeatable performance and turf interaction. Available in 50/62, the low-lofted models feature standard face scoring lines as they're more likely to be used on full approach shots, while the models in 56 and above have full face scoring lines to encourage consistent ball contact out of the deep rough and increased spin on off-center strikes. First introduced in 2018, the new wedge has a lot of similarities to the original. High toe was developed in close association with then TaylorMade staffer Justin Rose to add short game versatility and the opportunity to hit explosion shoes from anywhere. A toe height that is 5 mm higher than a standard wedge allows a higher of center of gravity, providing a flatter ball flight and higher spin performance on full approach shots or finesse shots around the green. The idea proved a hit with Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy and Jon Rahm, as all have had high toe wedges in their bags. The 2021 High Toe Raw has seen TaylorMade's engineers alter the geometry of the club head to create a thick thin head design which is more commonly used in metalwood and irons designs and the brand's milled grind 2 wedge. The thinner topline, along with additional redistributed mass, allows engineers to optimize the center of gravity location for precise flight and enhanced feel. The new wedge also has a less in-your-face look thanks to a classic aged copper finish. As well as the standard models, there's also a High Toe Raw Bigfoot. First introduced in 2019, Bigfoot is aimed at game improvers with its ultra-wide sole, 32 mm compared to the traditional 26 mm, making it easier to use regardless of the conditions, but especially out of bunkers. The anti-dig leading edge is blunter and has a beveled leading edge radius, with a maximum bounce of 15 degrees. The center of the sole is 32 mm wide and with added bounce towards the toe to help golfers with an outside to in swing path and tendency to strike towards the toe. Extra heel shaping also allows for versatility, and deep CG pockets have been developed to increase spin, flight control and allow for mass to be redistributed to the sole. What is the difference between High Toe Raw and High Toe Raw Bigfoot wedge? TaylorMade High Toe Raw Bigfoot is aimed at game improvers with its ultra-wide sole, 32 mm compared to the traditional 26 mm, making it easier to use regardless of the conditions, but especially out of bunkers. The anti-dig leading edge is blunter and has a beveled leading edge radius, with maximum bounce of 15 degrees, while the middle is now flatter at 32 mm wide and with added bounce towards the toe apex to help golfers with an outside in swing path and tendency for the strike location to be towards the toe. There is also a slight heel reduction on the to allow for versatility, and deep CG pockets have been developed to increase spin, flight control and allow for mass to be redistributed to the sole. Key tech in the TaylorMade High Toe Raw wedge. Thick to thin design. A thinner topline along with additional mass redistributed nearer to the top of the spine allows engineers to optimize CG location for precise flight and enhanced feel. New aged copper finish. Slightly tarnished look creating a classic rich reveal. Milled grind. Milled grind wedges ensure precision where it matters most. The process maximizes consistency when crafting each sole for repeatable performance and turf interaction. Raw face technology. Raw face technology designed for increased spin, precision and feel with sharper, narrower and deeper grooves in the face, as well as laser etching. The face will rust over time and was engineered to preserve consistent spin throughout the life of the wedge. Full face scoring lines. Designed to encourage consistent ball contact out of the deep rough and increase spin on off-center strikes. How did the TaylorMade High Toe Raw wedge perform on test? When we spoke to TaylorMade's wedge and putter guy Bill Price in January, we asked if golfers can expect a performance gain when comparing the High Toe Raw to TaylorMade's brilliant MG2 wedge lineup. Surprisingly, the answer was yes. And the reasoning Price gave was how the higher toe design draws the center of gravity up the face, so shots launch a little lower with more spin. And originally that sort of performance was a direct request from TaylorMade staff players on tour. Our test data doesn't quite have the high toe raw down as our highest spinning model, but it's worth remembering our test shots were hit with a brand new, fresh face, which hadn't yet had the time to rust, and it was comfortably among the top performers. We're big fans of the high toe's straight leading edge, and the new knockback, less in your face, aged copper finish. The high toe is a wedge that looks brilliant at address, and if you happen to struggle from sand, we also like how the wide-soled Bigfoot, the sole is 6 mm wider than the standard model, is well equipped to help out. Specs: TaylorMade high toe raw and high toe raw Bigfoot wedges. The standard bounce comes in 50 degrees, 52 degrees, 54 degrees, 56 degrees, 58 degrees, 60 degrees, 62 degrees, with the low bounce in 58 degrees and 60, and Bigfoot high bounce in 56, 58 degrees, 60 degrees. The wedges come with KBS High Rev 2.0 115 grams taper shafts and a lambkin crossline 360 52 grams 0.580 round black and red grip as standard.